Hello again, this is Joseph, and in this section of the video I'm going to cover the components and then I'll move on to setup. Then after that I'll start covering rules on gameplay, movement, ship battles, stuff like that. So right now let's just talk about what you need component wise to play the game, this solo variant. So right now I'm just using the original TNG set. It was the large original set. There was a limited and unlimited. They had it in a white border or black border. Black borders kind of look like that. And it had all the cards you needed. So if you had that set, you could have enough cards and cover everything. If you didn't have that set, just use expansions. You use expansions that have the same names like events, interrupts, dilemmas, mission cards. That's fine. You can use expansions. Doesn't matter what it says on top. You just need to have the count based on the types of cards. So let's go over these types of cards. So we'll have, from top to bottom, we have Federation Space Shuttle or Shuttlecraft. Just need one of those. Then we have outposts. So we have 2 Federation outposts and then a neutral outpost. Have those there. We'll have our our neutral zone card. This is your neutral zone movement card. It's your entrance and exit. Just one of those. That's one you'll have to print out. That's not a card based on the set. So when you see these ones that look a little different, these are printed cards. And I have those in a link that you can find through the STAR TREK CCG. You go through the forums on Board Game Geek and then look for a solo variant and you'll see my forum that I'm talking about, this solo variant, and there's a bunch of links in there. So that way you can print out. And then we have our Federation starships. Now the reason I did 11 is just to give you a larger random choice. When you pick your ship, you can either go through it and pick the one you want, or you can just flip it over, shuffle them up, and then pick one randomly. But that's why I kind of put 11. Give you a little bit more of a variety. Then you have your Federation personnel right here. There's 30 of the or 60 of these, and they all have to be individual, just like the ships. They all have to be individual cards. You can't have duplicates. So just be aware of that. 60 crew members, covers 7 types. You have like officer, security, medical. I think it's VIP, civilian. So you have these 7 different types, science. And then you're going to just get a big stack of these, 60 of them, and you'll go through those. That'll be your personnel cards that you can try and get it on your ship. Then we'll have artifacts. There are 6 artifacts. Okay. Then our mission cards, you'll have 2 types of mission cards. You have these ones that are star or space, and then these are planet. So you want 20 of each of those, space and planets. And then we have these 4 combo. Those are for our dilemmas. Same thing. We have 18 of the space and 18 of the planet. And then we have 4 of the dual. These are combo space and planet. And those will get shuffled in. So those are dilemmas. And then equipment. We have 10 equipment cards. Again, these all need to be individual cards. The equipment cards can be duplicates. You could have like 2 phasers, 2 medipads, or medical kits. That's okay. But you need 10 equipment cards. Duplicates is fine. And then we have our events. So there are 30 events, all individual. And we have 30 of the interrupts. All right. And then we will have our cards that we print. These are nothing happens this turn. Right, we have 3 of those, and then 9 of these nothing found. And these again have links that you can print these out. Okay, so we have those you can print out, and then we have our Romulan cards, which is we have 10 of the Romulan ships. There's 5 that are the non-printed. They don't say what kind of command that you need, and then you have some that says what type of command and how many personnel need to be on the ship. And we have our 20 crew members. These are the personnel for Romulan. Okay, just get a nice scattering of, you know, VIP and officer and commander. Just make sure you have a nice variety of those 20. And then we'll go into these another group of printed cards. These are hull damage cards. There's 12 of these, and shield damage cards, which 12 of those. Those are strictly for ship battles. I've made a whole separate rules on doing ship battles as opposed to just a hit. You get one, hit another time, 2, and you're out. I just thought that was just so vague. The rules that I created for ship battles, I think is more realistic to the TV show. It uses shields. Shields go down. Once you get out of shield, you're down in hull damage. And then there's effects that have, you know, breaches and crew can get killed. So it gets more realistic when you're playing that section. It's all part of the solo rules, but that is a separate section when you start doing ship battles, which I think is pretty cool. And I'll go over that in a whole separate video. And then we have our tokens, which we have, we got a bunch of white, and since we're doing Romulan as the enemy encounter, I have another player mat that's just Klingon. So instead of having Romulan personnel and ships, you would do Klingon personnel and Klingon ships. It just looks different. It's not green, it's red. So I use green tokens. You probably need a good 10 or 11 of those for shields. I use the blue for Federation, another 10 or so for the shields. That keeps track of those. And then, these are for hull damage, the colored ones. The white, which you'll have 20 or so, those are for shield tracking. So as you take damage to shields, you'll just remove these. You basically put it on there, and as you get hit and there's damage, you just take them off. You do need 1d6, any size, doesn't matter. And then I like to use a token to track which ship is attacking, because you're going to have attacker and defender. And then you just move this token to show this ship is attacking and then this ship is attacking. So that's a nice little way to track. So those are all the components you need. Cards, little tokens, components. Like I said, if you don't have it from the original set, or if you don't have the original set, just go on eBay and these cards are really cheap. That you can get a lot of these things. I think you could buy a booster box of this original white border unlimited set. I think it was $19.95 for like $40, $50. That's like 500 and something cards. You know, all random. So there's a good way on eBay to get a bunch of these cards. So this is what you need component-wise, and then what we're going to do next, I'm going to start covering the setup, and I'll go through each number on the setup. Okay, so if you have the rules and the setup rules, we're gonna go through it one line at a time. So we'll start with 1, and then I'll explain what you need to do for all your cards. So we're gonna first create the space line exploration area, and that is this middle area. If you don't have the player mat, and by the way, this is the player mat. This is something you can also download that I've created. This is the 5-sheet version, so you can print each sheet out and then tape them together. Or there's a full PDF which has the whole thing if you want to print that out. It might be expensive, but if you have a way to print it out cheap, it's obviously the better way to do it. It would look a lot nicer. But this is at least what you have as the 10 sheets taped together. So we're going to work on this right now. This is what we're going to create. So line 1 is we're going to take our 20 planet mission cards, and you know its planet has a little symbol right here with a little planet inside. The other one looks kind of like this. It's the space mission ones. So we'll take these planet ones, okay, and you always want to shuffle them up, right? So this is 1 on the setup, line item 1, and then after we shuffle it, we're going to deal out 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you put these back. Okay, then we take our space mission cards. And this is line 2, so we'll take these, shuffle them up. I've already shuffled them up, but I'll give them a couple more. Same thing, we're going to deal out 3. Okay, and then we put that off to the side. They will be used later, right? So now that you got these, you're going to shuffle these up really well. Okay. And this, you go from left to right, face up. This will be your space line. This is where you're going to focus on when you're doing your 5-year mission. Right here. You can go into the neutral zone, and there's other missions you'll have up here. This is kind of your main focus that you move, because this is where you're going to be picking up personnel. So that's the initial space line. Let's set up the artifacts. So this is line number 3. You're going to take your 6 artifacts, right here. We shuffle these up. All right, and you deal out 2 face down, like that. And then we take these nothing found and do 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put these back upside, and then you shuffle these. All right, and then just slide 1 under each mission card. So as you complete a mission, there's a possibility that you'll earn an artifact on that mission. So 2 out of the 6, you'll be able to get an artifact. So that was artifacts number 3. So let's go preparing the dilemma cards. This is number 4. So we have the same thing like missions. We have space or a planet dilemma cards, and then we have space dilemma cards. So we're going to take first the planet, these, and we're going to take 2 of these combo, right? They have a space and a planet. Just shuffle these up, right? Take 2 and 2, and you're going to mix 2 of these into the planet dilemma, okay? And then you're just going to shuffle these up. And then deal 3 cards down. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then we take our space dilemma. And let's mix these in. Shuffle those up and put 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then you just take these, right? Shuffle these up. Sorry, there's a lot of shuffling, but you want to randomize as much as you can. Oop. Shuffle this up. And then again, you're just going to slide these right under. These are the dilemmas that will happen once you get through and complete the mission. You'll have to delete or deal with it. Okay, so now this is your space line. This is your tile. As you move your starship through here, you can try and accomplish a space mission if you have the correct crew or the abilities. Okay, so that was 4 and 5. That completes your dilemmas for your space line. Now we need our outposts. This is number 6. So we have our 2 Federation outposts. We put those right on the end, like this. And then we have our neutral. Place that right there. That is 6 and 7. Now let's go ahead and do the enemy encounter. So, hold on one second. We will do the same thing where we're going to take our mission cards, right? Again, these are shuffled up. Deal 3 down. All right. We have our planet ones. Again, shuffle 2, 3. And then we shuffle these up. And again, left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And just like before, so that is, that's 8 for our mission cards. 8 and 9. And then we shuffle those together, face down. That's 10. 11 is, we take the remaining. So we go through the artifact cards again, right? And you had this shuffled. So you're going to do 2. Let's see. 2 more. Let's see if the end zone is it's 2 or 1. We will take artifact card. 2 cards. And again, we use 4 of these. And let's shuffle these up. And we will put these under here. kind of the same thing. If you dissolve these mission cards, there's some more artifacts you can find. And then we will go through the dilemma cards, just like last time. So we take our space dilemma. Again, they're shuffled. We do 1, 2, 3. Take our planet. 1, 2, 3. Shuffle these. You're basically creating the same setup as you did for the initial space line. And that is the enemy space line. Okay, so that is all face down. And now we're going to do the neutral zone card, which is number 15. That is your entrance to or exit to it. You just place that right on 1, right there. And then choose your Federation starship. So let's go through that. So again, we have our 11 ships. Now you could pick which one you want, right? You can decide, or you can do it random. You know, shuffle them up and go. Okay, let's see what we get as a random ship. So the USS Galaxy. That's not bad. It's Galaxy class. I need a commander and 2 staff at least to move this ship. If I don't have those 3, I can't move it. So if any staff die and I'm below that, I'm dead in the water. I'd have to use my space shuttle to get around and then get more crew. So we have a range of 8, weapons of 7, and shields of 9. So we put that right here on our Federation starship. And you can take these other ones, put them off to the side. Okay. And now we're going to get, so that was 16. Now let's go ahead and choose our personnel. So out of our 60 cards, we need a captain. So we have our ship, we need a captain. And you can just go through right now and just pick a captain if you want. Just make sure when you pick your captain that he has the command symbol. And it would look like a little cluster. So that's a command symbol right there. An officer with command. So I'm going to do what I always liked. Let's go with the top dog and we're going to use Picard. Where is he? Oh, we can even do Riker. Let's see. So this one you're picking your captain. There he is. So I'm going to pick Picard. He's going to be my officer. He's got my command. And he goes in the captain's spot. Then we also need to pick his number 1. So let's go ahead and pick Riker. Right? Now your second in command can have command or staff. It's okay. But if you can't get a command, so in case he dies, at least you have another commander for the ship. And you look on here and you go, I have 3 staff that I need. 1 commander and 2 of the staff. So I will need 1 more, and that means this ship allows me to pick 1 more. So what usually you do is you just kind of shuffle it up. You know, shuffle it, cut it once, and then just randomly take 1. And it has to have, it's a VIP, this civilian has to have that staff symbol. Right? Not bad, but could have been better. Okay, so now that has set up my Federation Starship's personnel. I've picked my captain, I got my number 1, and then I have my requirements for my ship. So let's go ahead and we'll start that. So that was 17, 18, 19. Okay, and then our last 2 is we will go through and our equipment, and we pick, so 2 equipment. So go ahead and randomize these. Pick 2 and put them over here to the right of the captain and crew, and those are your 2 initial pieces of equipment for your ship. That was 21. So now we're going to go on to 22, which is create the Federation personnel draw deck. Okay? Okay, so this one's a little tricky. This is one where you have to kind of set up piles. So when you're doing the Federation, right, staff, we'll start at 22, and what you need to do is put everything in piles. Okay, so let me just pause this video a second so I can put them all in piles. 7 piles. Okay, so I'm going to start this back up again. And so what you need to do is you take that pile of personnel cards and you're going to put them in 7 piles. You got security, VIP, engineering, civilian, science, medical, and officer. When you have these 7, go through each pile and take 1 card out that you like. So I'm going to say there's data. I'm going to take Beverly as medical. And for science, we'll take out, let's see what's a good one. Richard Galen. For civilian, we'll do Vash. And then engineering, definitely, let's do Jordy. VIP. All right, we'll do Sarek. And we'll do Worf. Okay, so these 7, right, you're going to put those face down. Now, you want to shuffle these up and draw 2 from each one. And just put it face down on the pile. We got 2 science. All right. These 2 are the science. 1, 2. Civilians oust. Medical. There's 2. And then your officers. This is doing 23 and 24. All right, so now we have our remaining stack. We'll put that there, and we have the stack of personnel. So this we are going to shuffle. Okay, we've done 24, which is grab 2 of each one. And then when we get these shuffled up, what you're going to do is you're going to put a card in stage 2. Okay, 1 personnel, and then you're going to put another card in stage 3. All right, and then you have this pile right there, right? Okay, put that over here into the personnel draw deck, all right? And this is the way these cards right here, these personnel, every turn they'll move towards the outpost. And as you get your ship to the outpost, you can actually have that crew member board your ship and use those abilities. But if you want to get rid of that personnel, you have to be back on an outpost, let them go, and you can pick up more. You only have a max of 6 crew, so or 6 crew members plus your captain. So they can come and go. Your captain stays, but your other personnel can come and go. So, and those are what you need. Those abilities of those people are what going to allow you to accomplish these missions, dilemmas, events, stuff like that. So that does 27. That covers all creating Federation personnel deck. Then we have our Romulan, which is, let's see here, ships and personnel. Those will be our 20 personnel. Like I said, you shuffle these up, right? And then put those here. And then shuffle these 10 cards up, take 5, put them here. The other 5 you will use later. Okay, so that is Romulan, ships and personnel, that's 28 and 29. Then we go on to creating your 5-year mission. Okay, this is the big, this is the one, this is what you're going to go through every turn. This is going to be your turn counter and let you know when you finish the game. You have 5 years. So we're going to take our 30 events. Okay, 30 events. These are all shuffled up. I'll do a little cut. And you're going to deal 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put that down. Okay, then you're going to take your 30 interrupt cards, right? Those are shuffled. We'll flip them half. Same thing, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put that on top, so now I got 16. Then we'll take Federation personnel, the remainder pile that you had right here. Right, these are all shuffled. So you will take 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then just stick that underneath the initial, that's your now personnel draw deck, which fills these, okay? And then you need equipment cards, you need 2. So we go to our equipment, right? Shuffle these up, draw 2, okay? Put these off to the side. And then last but not least, we have these last 2, which are nothing happens. We take 3 of those, okay? Put those on top. And then we have our Romulan ships. That's the 5, okay? So that will give us a total of 30 cards, okay? So this you shuffle up really well. This is now your 5-year mission counter deck. Because the reason there's 30 is each time you draw a card, that's 2 months time span. So 30 cards, you got 60 months, that's your 5 years. When this thing runs out, your 5-year mission is over. We put this right here as your draw deck. That covers up from 30 to 36. So you have all your cards, right? This is your setup. You're ready to go. All the remaining cards you can just put off into piles, right? You have your equipment cards. We'll put these over here. You have artifacts. We'll take our events, put those off to here. Your interrupts. Again, we can put those here. These dilemmas, right? These you can now shuffle together. Okay. We'll set those off to the side. And then our mission cards, same thing. You can shuffle these together. Right. This is going to be your draw deck for when you've completed missions on either enemy or your timeline, your space line, and your artifacts. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and put in our shuttle right there. There's a little spot for it. Your shuttle should go to the left of your captain, and your shuttle has a personnel crew max is 5. So right there, that should give you everything. The other cards that go off to the side are your shield and damage cards. Shield damage and hull damage, you can put those off to the side, no problem. But here, this is everything set up. This game is now ready to play. So next, I'll start going into talking about rules of the game and how things are played, and movement and battles and combats, and how you defeat or actually, get through a mission. Okay?